So here we have an 8mm film projector. Right now it is not working, and right now I am going to find out why. This is actually my parents'. They've had it for a number of years and hasn't been used in a long time. I have two other projectors here that I got from the most recent estate sale. We got this one, which is Anscovision, and then a Kodak over here. This one doesn't have a bulb, but the mechanics all work. This one works perfectly, but both of them do not have any sound output, which is where this one differs. I have one of my mom's reels here that supposedly has RC flying video on it. So I'm going to pull the back off of this thing and see what's going on. So here we can start to get a look inside this thing, and the first thing I see is this interesting bit right here. It looks like it's a spring belt, which is something I've never seen before in pretty much anything, if I'm to be honest. I'm used to seeing rubber belt drives and gears, but not springs. But we got a rubber belt drive here from the motor. We've got the motor with the fan on the back. And then we got this pulley down here, which has its own little gear on it controlling the spring gear, drive, whatever you want to call that thing, I guess. We have a flywheel. I don't know if that's supposed to be connected to something. Oh, I guess it probably will when I turn the unit on. Maybe not. Seems to have no effect, but anyway. And then we have this up here. I'm not 100% certain what that does just yet. And then we got another gear up here, to another gear, to another gear, and more belt-driven stuff to go up to the pulley here. So, I'm going to go ahead and hook this sucker up and see what happens. But first, before I put any film reels on it, I'm just going to plug it in and turn it on and see if it does anything at all. It didn't last time, but maybe something's changed. Hey, well, that's very interesting, because this was not working before. And I guess that flywheel is doing something. I'm not entirely sure what. And I'm guessing that's a that gives you the lighting effect for the film. I don't know what that's supposed to be for. Okay. Well. Woo! Light! Okay, the bulb is good. Well, we already knew that. So, let's get the film hooked up on here and we'll see what this thing does. Okay, so we got the back reel, we got the front reel. Now, the film gets fed in here, and it's supposed to do its thing automatically, if I'm not mistaken. But we can take the front off, or I should say the side actually. And see what it's doing. More internal stuff. So much fun. Okay, so this comes in here. Let's see what this does. Okay. Let's run this up in here. And it should feed itself all the way out the back. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, so that makes me kind of unsure what this back here is for, unless it's just for a quick rewind without using the internals of the unit. Okay, well, let's see if this thing will pick itself up here. This reel says it's an auto loader, so there we go. Very cool. Alright. Is there any audio? I don't hear anything. This may not be a sound film. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. But anyway, let's go ahead and turn this so I can get some semblance of a wall, and then I will go full forward. Alright, we need a focus job here. Let's see, where's my focus at? That's not focus. Okay, that's good. Now where's my focus? There we go. Now I can kind of see what's going on here. Very cool. So this thing works. And we'll take a look in here. And I'm probably getting a whole lot of wind noise because I was right up against the fan there. And now that flywheel's doing something too that may or may not be useful. I can't see. The light's too bright. Yeah, so that's pretty neat. So we'll turn the bulb off, turn that off, and that flywheel just keeps on going. I'm very curious as to what that flywheel is for. So, it would appear as though this projector actually does work. It just didn't want to when it was over at my parents' place when we tested it. Very cool. Okay, now I just need to find out if this is a film reel that actually has sound on it or not. I'm gonna have to call them for that. And we'll see if we can get sound out of this thing. I am fairly certain that's my dad. Because this is one of his RC planes that he's gotten rid of a long time ago. Very cool, very cool. It's good to know this thing works at least. I have a couple of projection screens I can set up from over there that also came from the estate sale. I just didn't bother putting them up. Maybe later. We'll see. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put this thing back together now. And see if we can get some sound out of it. From another reel maybe. Well, it turns out I was able to get sound out of this reel. There's just no sound in the beginning of it, so that's all there is to that. But I'm not going to play it all the way back up to that point again, because I just don't feel like it right now. I'm going to take it back over to my parents' place tomorrow and we'll screw with a little more there. They've got a couple more film reels from overseas actually, which will be really cool to see. So we'll see what happens. And just because I'm playing with film reels and all that fun stuff, I decided to play around with my reel-to-reel tape decks as well, just a little bit. I'm transferring a tape from one reel to another, but I decided not to just transfer it. These meters are moving right now because I have hooked up my iPod to the reel-to-reel tape deck, and I am recording a certain track to this tape, at least one side of it, because this is a 4-channel, actually I guess 2-channel. It does stereo on both sides, so yeah. I got the speakers turned off right now because, well, copyrighted music. But yeah, it's doing that. And I've got my old Sony over here. I was screwing around with it earlier, and I was able to find out that, well, you might remember an old video of this thing where I was trying to get it to work and the channel 1 was really poppy and you wouldn't get any audio out of it. Well, I found out that if you hook up microphones or some other input there, you get audio out of the left speaker. So, my guess is the audio is getting lost somewhere between the tape head and the amplifier, because the amplifier is working. The old tube amplifiers in this thing are working just fine, but for some reason it's only working when you've got something hooked up to the auxiliary input or microphone. It's not working when you play a tape. So I really don't understand that, and I don't know enough about the internals for this thing to really make a difference in the matter. So I'm just gonna let it go. Forget about it. In the meantime, we're gonna see if that thing will play any more 8mm tapes tomorrow at my parents' place. I just had this thing open a couple hours ago, putting 3-in-1 on all the moving parts, so everything's nice and lubed up now, but I love the way this thing sounds. Just listen to it. It's so squeaky!
Right down on top of it. Oh my gosh, I can taste it in my teeth. Oh shit, give it a try.
It's working! And now we're going to rewind the film. As you can see, it is on the reels, and now it'll just take it from there. But this only works if you actually watch the entire film. Because if you just stop it in the middle and want to rewind it, it is a real big pain to try to pull it out of the workings of the machine. So this is definitely the easiest way to do it. But the whole thing works. That's the screen that I got from the estate sale with the other two projectors. It actually comes with a spare screen. So that's pretty cool. But that's pretty much all that for now. We'll find the other tapes, reels, whatever you want to call these things. A couple more over here. Yep. Not all of them are labeled, but we'll figure out what they got.
You say they all in here?
They don't seem to all have labels.
You used to.
Oh well. That's all.